Good morning and welcome back to Terrific Terry Tuesday at Ben Salem or Parx. It's coming off an okay Monday. Terry had a nice little pick four in the middle. I had a nice little pick four at the end.
Yep,
that works out all right. Maybe today we can get all three of them together, Terry. That would be a good day for sure.
Yeah, it sure would.
And hopefully today kind of mirrors yesterday a little bit. I was plenty of horses that got out to the front and stayed out the front yesterday. So let's see if that speed bias can hold up. It better, or I'm going to look like a big, as Fred Sanford used to say, I'm going to look like a big dummy. Do you remember that show?
I do, yeah. I used to watch it all the time. Sanford and Sons.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, Sanford and Sons. So who are you? Are you Fred Sanford, or are you Lamont, or am I Lamont and you're Fred? How does that work?
I'm Fred Sanford. You're Lamont.
I'm Lamont. I'm the big dummy. All right, you the big dummy.
Yeah, but I'm the old guy. That's why.
Yes, Elizabeth, I'm coming. Yes, funny show. I don't think they could put that show on TV today. They might not.
No.
Might not pass the PC test, I guess. But it was funny as hell growing up. That's for sure. Well, it's not funny when it's cold out. You know, the weather has definitely broken in Chicago. It was 40 degrees overnight last night. So you're going to need to get yourself a horse racing today hoodie. That's the football version. Of course, if you're a fan of the likes of Ohio State, you can change it to look like that. That's pretty nice. Or if maybe you're a Penn State fan, you can go like that. Or I guess this is a 49ers fan, though. It should probably be all black, waving the flag of death.
We'll see on Thursday what happens.
Who do you guys play Thursday? Oh, the Seattle?
Yeah, we play Seattle.
Yeah, well, I did read some good news that your boy's going to be back before too long. I need him on my fantasy team. Christian McCaffrey. All right, so when the show's over, head on over to horseracingtoday.net. Down in the description below, you'll find a link. We'll have all of our comments along with a race replay over there. In the description here on YouTube, we'll timestamp every race so you can come back and watch them all as they happen. And of course, there's always some free picks available to you today, guaranteed tip sheet. Just click on that tip sheet button down there using the link below, and you'll see that today's free track is Finger Lakes Racetrack out there in the upper part of New York, a beautiful part of that state. If you haven't visited that part of the country, I would suggest doing so in the summertime. Plenty of outdoor recreational things to do for your personal enjoyment. Our personal enjoyment today, Terry, takes us to race number 1 in just outside of Philadelphia. Well, plenty of things to do around there too if you're a big buff on our country, America's founding. Last time I was there, I saw the hotel that George Washington stayed in, so it was pretty cool. Anyway, let's see if we can be pretty cool about our picks today.
Okay, well, it's 6.5 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $5,000 claiming price, $18,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won 2 races since April 8th.
6.5 furlongs on the dirt track, just outside of Philadelphia at Parx. Tactical speed does very good 34% of the time. Horses win on the lead, and there is an inside to outside bias. So we know early speed on the inside is the way to the winner's circle. So we do simulations, Terry, 10,000 of them to see which horses have the best chance to get to the lead. It looks like there's a standout here. And then based upon our projected outcomes, we look to see which horses are going to get races that mirror or match their best performance. Comfort zone, abbreviated to C zone. Over here is the Q30. This is another front-running type score. A horse that gets 30% of the Q30 scores, those horses have a very good chance to be forward and to finish off the job. Par plus, in our simulations, we want to see what percent of the time a horse runs in our simulations, a speed figure, in this case of 83 or more. You see that there's a 16% chance Shuttlebox will accomplish that. And of course, everybody wants value. You want to pay less for something that's worth more. So our simulated odds, fingers crossed that they'll be better than or lower than post-time odds. Terry, from all of this, who's going to get to the front?
Well, that 3 shows all the speed in the world compared to the other ones, so it should get to that quarter pole first. The 3 has an overlay from 5-1 to 6-1. The 7 has an overlay from about 5-2 to 3-1. 8 has an overlay from 10.5 to 1 to 12-1. And then all but the 1, 2, and 8 show par plus numbers. All of them show C zones, and the 1 has a nice Q30.
Yeah, and the 3-horse right behind it too. So in addition to our simulations, a couple of other ways people handicap races. This one over here is called trip handicapping. And what we see here is the 3 wants to be on the front. 4, 7, and 8, those want to be co-pilot types. The 2 is a little bit of flexibility. It is a Sesame Street horse, unlike any of the others. That one can be anywhere really on the track. 1, 5, and 6 want to close. According to our early pace, Terry, it does look like Shadowbox is going to be your pace setter in here. Every 5 points equates to about 1 length. So if the 3 can clear the 1, could get a pretty easy lead for itself. At the end of the race, we see another horse in here, Dream Knight, along with Gimme Back My Bullets. Well, a bunch of them pretty tightly knit in here. And then finally, your top total pace horse in here is Dream Knight, Terry, the closer with enough early speed to be a part of the early mix. The top 4 generally is where you'll find the winner about 7 out of 10 times. Terry, I know we'll find your winners right here.
Yep, I'm going with that closer 7, Dream Knight. He likes Parx Racing. He's been in the money 83% of the starts here, winning 17% of those races. The distance won't be a problem. He's finishing the money 75% of the races at today's distance, and he won 25% of the starts. Then I like the 4, Give Me Back My Bullets. Drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey. The 5, Ready. He drops in class today, can improve while returning to dirt, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like the 3, Shadowbox as my long shot. He has won 3 out of 10 starts at Parx Racing, drops in class today, and can handle the distance. I don't have any additional bets in this race.
So I'm going to start off with the 3-horse in here, hoping that early speed advantage takes hold here. He's got way too much speed on the front. They're going to all have to pass him at one point, provided he breaks cleanly. Dream Knight, the 7-horse. Second choice in there, a little bit better with all the race internals last time out. 3 consecutive speed figure increases. Those 3 consecutive speed figure increases are an alpha angle that win at 15% or more, according to Barry Meadows in his book, The Skeptical Handicapper. Midnight Getaway, the 1-horse, is my 3rd selection in here. Drops in class, should be well positioned against this field, and gets that hot rail. Finally, the bearish one, it is the Lone PC, which is a very dangerous horse in the 3rd start after a layoff. I'm going to do a lot of my money right here. I'm going to do $10 pick 3, 333, $10 double, 3-3, 10 to win on the 3, and then a $1 pick 5, 3-3-3-7, and all. Mr. Terry, I'm going to bank on some speed coming home for me today. We have a $100 budget along with our pick 4s, which will be coming up momentarily. Terry, tomorrow, speaking of which, there is a $250,000 pick 5 that we'll be handling at Keeneland. And to make sure you don't miss that, folks, Terry, what's the best thing they can do?
Well, they should subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell so they're notified about all those programs. Go down and copy the link to share with all their friends, neighbors, and relatives so they can come check us out. Go to our Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, Threads, social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like. That'll help us out a lot. And give us comments and your picks, which we really enjoy to get, which also helps us.
Yes, yesterday we had a kaboom in race number 2, a $100 shot from Christopher D'Souza. And in race number 1, they are off and they are running. And the 3-horse has indeed bounded out to a pretty easy lead so far. It didn't look like he had to work too hard, although the jockey does look as if though he is restraining it a little bit. The 1-horse is, that's not the 1-horse, that's the 8 horses to the outside as they run down the backstretch in this 6.5 furlong race. The key are going to be the fractions here. About 23 seconds, so they're not going that fast. The 3-horse continues to set the tone, and Richard has his fingers crossed that indeed speed is the way today. The favorite, the 7-horse, has moved up into second place, so he's not on the rail. Some horses to the outside squeezing him a little bit. They're coming around the corner, heading for home. The 3-horse continues to set the tone, although the 7-horse at 8-5 is making up plenty of ground on the inside. The 3-horse so far hasn't really been asked to run. Let's see if he can stay out on the lead and make this a wire-to-wire effort. The 7-horse is going to come up on the outside. Looks like he's going to challenge him. And the 3-horse is coming out, trying to hurt him. I don't know if he's going to keep him off, though, or not, because he hasn't been able to get that lead to change on that 3-horse. But down the stretch they come. This looks like the 3-horse is going to be your winner, Terry. It is your winner. It's going to go 3, 7, 6, and then I don't know who was on the inside. So $3, $10 to win on that 3 at 3-1. Off to a good start right there, Terry. I just need all those threes to come on through for the rest of the day.
That's right. Well, congratulations. You did a good job there of handicapping.
All I did, Terry, was remember that they all got to the front yesterday and stayed there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was definitely a speed bias, and I was hoping whatever kind of maintenance they did overnight didn't alter that. Let's see if that is the case in race number 2 as well. What are we doing here?
Okay. Well, in race 2, we're going to go to a 6 furlongs. So we're shortening up a little bit. It's a maiden claiming race, $10,000 claiming price, purse $19,000 for maidens, 3-year-olds and upward.
6 furlongs, much like 6.5 furlongs, favors that interior speed with a bunch, 36% going wire to wire. So a few more percent going wire to wire in the shorter distance. Again, inside horses have the advantages over outside horses. So again, show me some horses on the inside. Buffalo Girls on the inside in this case that have the gas when the gates open.
Yep. That 3 shows a lot of speed. Should get to that quarter pole first, followed up by the 2. And then the 4 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 5 to 1. 5 has an overlay from 11 to 1 to 15 to 1. 4, 2, 1, and 5 have par plus numbers. All but the 6 have C zones, and the 2 and the 3 have really nice Q30s.
Yes, but of those 2, the 3 horse looks like it's the one that's going to be on the lead. So I would weight this 43%, slightly higher than that 43%. We have a lone E in this case. Doesn't look like it. Here we got 3 that want to be on the front, 3 that want to be in the back. And so far, the 7 has not been within 5 lengths of the winners at the finish line. At the start of the race, let's see how they match up to where they want to be. It does look like the 3 horse, in this case, has almost a 10-point advantage over the other speed horses in here. In fact, the 5 is a left arrow horse. That's about 2 lengths. The 3 should be able to get to the front, again, comfortably, maybe run some slowish fractions. Cary Grant, along with Bubby Papermaker, Star of Caesarea, those have a lot more late speed than the rest in here. Our top total pace horse in this picture, Terry, is the 2. Ave's Making Waves. Again, your top 4 right here, the inside 4 horses, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So is it going to be tactical speed, Terry, or front speed for you?
Well, I like the Star of Carissa. He ran second versus Tupper in his last race as a favorite. Has a trainer, though, that wins 25% of the races when bringing a big beaten favorite back to race again. Has a high percentage winning jockey and a good workout on October 2nd. Optimistic Nate, the 3. Drops in class. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 31% of the races in the second race after claiming a horse, and a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like the 2 as my third choice. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a jockey that in the last 17 days have been in the money. 10 out of 18 starts with 5 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3. Number 4, Cary Grant's my long shot, ran second versus Tupper in his last race. Drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play a Miami Vice pick 4, Don Johnson. It's a 1. I'm going to use the 1, 2, 3, 4 with the 3, 4 with the 1, 2, 6, 7, and finish up with the 1, 3, 7.
I'm going to start with my 3 horse again. And here, Terry, Optimistic Nate. I'm optimistic that this one will do like the 3 horse did in the last race. Get to the front. You see there, has a great chance to do that according to our simulations. Has the top C-zone score, so it should be very comfortable and grow in confidence as the race goes. Behind that 3 horse, I have the 1 horse, your top selection, Terry, Star of Caesarea, I'm going to guess. I don't know. That one ran better fractions at 7 furlongs last time out than it did in the prior start at 6. Moving back to 6 today could be beneficial. Number 4, Cary Grant. This is the horse that ran the top last race speed figure last time out. That was 5 points better than the next closest horse. And the godfather of speed figures, Andrew Beyer, says that any horse with a 3-point speed point advantage in the prior start is one that you absolutely have to consider for this race. And then finally, the 2 horse Ave's Making Waves. This one is a track dropper coming in from Monmouth Park with a maintenance workout to keep the saw sharp between races and does have that high Q30 score. So if that one can bust to the front, it could add to the list of wire-to-wire types going forward. Right. So just to answer your question in that first race,
Freddie.
Yeah, I was going to say Victor, but I knew there was a V in there somewhere. The 3-horse won that opening leg. Speaking of threes, that's the race we're going to do now.
That's right. And we're going to go to 6 furlongs again. Maiden claimings race. It's a $10,000 claiming price, purse $19,000 for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
6 furlongs, inside 3 speed is the place to be. Mr. Terry, 36, so a little more than 1 out of 3 going wire to wire. In the third race, Terry, again, a little bit more distribution, but once again, we find that 3-horse, some giddy up and go.
That's right. The 3 shows the most speed again, as you can see, followed up by the 4. And then the 3 has an overlay of about 5-2 to 7-2. The 4 has an overlay of around even money to 6-5. 4, 3, and 6 have the par plus numbers. All of them show C zones, and the 3 has a really nice Q30.
Indeed, 67%. Oof, that's double the 30. It's usually the Q30 we're looking for, especially solo horses that have a score of 30% or more in here, especially if they have a great chance to get to the front. And if they're loanees, look out. But in this case, it's not a loanee. The 3-horse has a little bit of company on the front as a front runner with the 2-horse, if the 2 can get up to there. The 1-horse is a pressure horse. The 4, that one wants to close. The 5 and the 6 this time, and mid, higher, flying high. All right. Those 2 have not been within 5 lengths of the winner. When the race is over, at the start, once again, we see the 3-horse, Terry, a 12-point advantage. So the advantages is getting bigger and bigger and bigger for the 3. That's more than a 2-length advantage for that 3 when this race gets started. Question is, will it have the late legs to hold on? Whoosh, along with Star Lord. Lord Sabi, mid here, flying high. Really none of these horses really showing what I would call the kind of scare me late pace. This is really more passing, tiring rivals type late pace. At the end of the race, the 3-horse Voy y Vengo, a 6-point total pace advantage over Star-Lord, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's usually enough to put that horse in your picks to wheel around in your exactas and trifectas. Terry, where did you wheel that one into your picks?
Well, I like the 4 Star-Lord. He drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage when he jockey. Then the 3 Voy ya Vengo. He has an early,
Vengo. I think that's how they would say it in Spanish.
Yeah, probably. He has an early speed running style, and he can improve at this shorter distance. Number 2, Whoosh is my third choice. His best start speed is fast among today's starters. Has a high percentage winning trainer. Then the 5, This Time Blue, is my third long shot. He has an early running style, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets for me here.
I'm going to start off with that 3. My theme today, bet the 3-horse at the start because they're all going to get to the front, and hopefully that speed can hold. There's actually some pretty quick fractions in that opening race for that 3, so it does look like speed, at least in the first race, will be the way. This one has a 12-point advantage over everybody early on, as we saw in our total pace pictures. And it's getting 10 pounds off today, which should only accentuate that early speed. Star-Lord, I think those Guardians of the Galaxy are the best of the Marvel movies. And if the 3 doesn't win, Star-Lord is the best of the other horses in this class. Dropping in his third race after a layoff, and all of its internals and speed figures are heading higher. Mid-hair flying high. That one will be coming from off the pace today, and it has enough back class to take out the rest of these. And then finally, number 2, Whoosh, has a solid late pace edge over the rest of these horses. It is an E designation type, so it's one that usually wants to get on the lead. And if you can get off to a good start, that late pace won't go away. I'm going to stick with my $10 to win on the 3 and a $10 double, 3-7, and I think for the most part, that's $90 out of my 100. So I'm almost spent already, Terry. Race 4, maybe we'll see Terry spend a little bit of money here.
Yeah, this is a 6 furlongs again, claiming $15,000 claiming price, purse $28,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since July 8th, claiming races for 12.5 or less, not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
So York Shamrocks Football Club saying to the 3-horse. So you're obviously in England. How are things over there? Do you watch our shows, York, when we do Foreign Fridays? Tom and I. No, this one ran on dirt last time over here. Yeah. And then Yeah, it got off to that speed and fade. I'm also a big fan of that speed and fade angle too, because the next time out, a lot of times those horses do find a little bit more late energy. Into race number 4, Terry mentioning all of the considerations to get into the race. It's going to be the third race in a row where we run 6 furlongs. So it's the third race in a row where horses on the inside with some early speed tend to have the advantage. So in race number 4, Terry, do we find inside speed once again?
Well, there's one that shows a little bit, but that 7 on the outside shows the most speed. It could be between the 7 and 5 head to head to that quarter pole. 4 has an overlay from about just over 5 to 2 to 7 to 1, and then or to 6-1, and then the 7 has an overlay from almost 5 to 2 to 8 to 1. All but the 5 show par plus numbers, and all but the 2 show C zones, and the 7 has a really nice Q30.
Yeah, a little bit of an overlay. Strong chance to run a par plus number. Par plus, again, according to Brisnet, when they do their math, it says that the average winning speed figure for today's conditions, and this one's 85. So when we did our 1,000 simulations, there's a 35% chance that Navy Rules will top that number. Our trip handicapping shows a race that's kind of weighted towards the backside. More horses want to be to the middle and the back. The 7-horse Navy Rules is along with the 6, a lone EP. So you got 2 Sesame Street types here, unlike the other. The 6 is a little bit more lead dependent than the 7. The 7 has proven it can win from off that front runner status. The 6-horse might have to work to get to the lead. So the 7 should be well positioned along with the 2 and the 5. So your 4 front runners should be up front. Your 3 closers should be in the back. If you choose to back the closers, it does look like G-Bert, the 4-horse, is a length faster than the George Thoroughbred horse, Bad. But Bad is about a length quicker. So those 2 are going to tie at the finish line, according to our top total pace score. That favors Rebel Empire, the 6-horse, with Navy Rules, the long shot underneath it. This is a very competitive race, though, Terry. All but Tropic Storm within 6 points. So you get bumped, you get forced wide around the turns. It could be the difference between winning this race and finishing in last place. Who's going to win the race, Terry?
I like the 6 Rebel Empire. He comes in from Delaware to try Parx Racing, bringing the highest speed figure at today's distance, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I like the 1 is my second choice, Liberty Star. 1 is last race at Parx Racing, switches to high percentage winning jockey Paco Lopez. Then the 2 Tropic Storm is my third choice, has an early speed running style, so he may improve at the shorter distance, has a high percentage winning trainer. Then I like the 7 as my long shot, Navy Rules. He has won 2 out of his last 3 starts. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance and a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play the second pick 4, Miami Vice, Don Johnson. I'm going to use the 1-2-6-7 with the 1-3-5-7 with the 1-5, finish up with the 2-4-5, $48 price ticket.
I'm going to begin with the 7-horse Navy Rules. And I had a theme yesterday. I got a theme today. Speed, baby, speed, baby, speed. And I'm hoping the track continues to be fast, going with another that should be out front. But in this case, does it need to be on the lead? Liberty Star, El Numero Uno, the El Numero Uno jockey, Paco Lopez on a closer. That's going to get a little extra distance today, which should work to Paco's favor. Rebel Empire, that 6-horse, Terry's top selection. Well, there's good reason for that. You got Jamie Ness, who wins every race he enters a horse into at Parx, along with Ruben Silvera. This horse hasn't raced at Parx, Terry, as you mentioned, coming in from Delaware. But if you look underneath at the workouts at Parx, man, this horse has run exceptionally well training at the Philadelphia track. So really does seem to be a fan of the surface. And then finally, I'm going to go with George Thorogood. Bad to the bone. Probably the most consistent horse in the field, Terry. And last time out, all of its race internals, the early pace, the mid pace, and the late pace were better than they were in the prior start. I'm going to do a pick 4 with the 1-6-7, folks. So you know what that means, Terry? It means just single the 3 again, because it's always the 4th horse. So the next pick for me that doesn't win. Then the 1-4-6-7 with the 4-5-6, the 2-4, $48 for me as well. The middle race of the card today, Terry, is the 5th race because there are 9 races today, 1 less than yesterday. So tell us all about the middle one.
Well, we're going to stretch out an extra furlong to 7 furlongs. It's an optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, purse 26,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for 25,000 or less, which have never won 3 races, or a claiming price of 25,000, which have never won 3 races.
So let me get this right, Salim. Your whatever predictions, we're making our predictions right now, and at the end of the show, we'll put all of our predictions up. We'll show all the races. I'll do that for you right now, just so you have them, because I don't know what sort of limitations you have in Turkey where you are. So here are all of our picks for the day. A little bit of foreshadowing, as they call it in the entertainment business. So are you calling us turkeys? Because in the old days, being called a turkey was an insult, right?
Yeah, no, I think he's from Turkey. So
Yes, I know, I get it. But if we win, are you offering us a 6-pack? I don't drink. Terry only does 6-packs of the most expensive whiskey or bourbon, right?
yeah, I do Jack Daniels.
So a 6-pack of Jack for Terry and a 6-pack of Diet Dew for me. All right. So 7 furlongs. We haven't seen that distance today. They didn't run there yesterday either. So profile of that winner favors tactical speed. Michael Jordan, 23% go wire to wire. And, that number is coming up significantly. Earlier in the year, during the summer meet and the spring, was under 20%, like 16, 17%. So a big number of these horses of late going wire to wire. And much like we've seen in the 6 furlong and the 6.5 furlong sprints, the inside 3 have the advantage. But in this case, Terry, most of the speed is on the outside.
Yeah, the 6 shows a lot of speed, followed up by the 7 and the 5. So it's a really the 6 should get there, but the 7 and 5 might have something to say about that. The 3 has an overlay from about 5 to 2 to 4 to 1. 5 has an overlay from about 7 to 2 to 8 to 1, and the 6 has an overlay from around 12.5 to 1 to 20 to 1. All but the 4 has par plus, and all but the 4 also have C zones, and that 7 has a nice Q30.
Yeah, the 6 and the 7, they get out forward, should be a pretty good battle up on the lead. Maybe they have to be careful not to out battle. Well, according to this, those 2 should be up on the front. Everybody else on the back, War Master, that one is a lone PC type. So if these 2 go too fast, can sit right in front of these 3 and try to outclose them at the end. If they go too slow, that one can get out to the front and perhaps say, see you later. We'll see you another time. Looking at the early speed, it does look like the 7's a little bit faster, although the 6 and the 5 are to its inside with similar speed. So the 7 will have to send to get to the front today. The end of the race, I feel lucky tonight, is your strongest closer. War Master, not too far behind. And then a pretty big drop-off between those 2. So these 2, where they line up early on is probably going to determine which one of them gets to use that late speed to its advantage at the end. I feel lucky tonight does have a 6-point total pace advantage over everybody else. So maybe today, Terry, it's just bet number 3 and then forget about it and make it that simple. We both win a different way, and I just tossed a 3 out altogether.
Oh, wow. I like 1 War Master as my first choice. Ran second versus similar in his last race. Rail Post winning an 18% clip. He has the best start speed among today's starters. He actually tied with another horse, and he has high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I have the 3. I feel lucky tonight. He's finished in the money in 6 races out of the last 7 starts, and he won 2 of those starts. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. 7, Bobby the Tank, is my third choice. He ran second versus Simmer in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer. Long shot is the 5 Alpha Company. He is 1 for 1 at Parx Racing, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets here for me.
All right. I'm going to start off with El Numero Uno War Master as well. War Master as a track dropper and coming in from a tier 1 or that tier 1B track probably. And you got Jamie Ness and Mikel Sanchez. That combination wins an awful lot of races at Parx as well. And this one, in addition to coming in from a track that tends to have better companies, also dropping a little bit in price. Number 7, Bobby the Tank. There's that one that can get to the front, Terry, with that 57% Q30 score. If early speed is the way, this one should be the way. Bali Amor, the 4 horse, is my third choice. I got a little bit of a long shot right there, Terry. This one might have the most back class in the field. It's making the second start after a layoff, so really a lot of room to take it higher today. And last time out, another one of those horses that showed signs of life with all of the race internals improving off of its last start before heading to the bench. And then it was a tough call between Ryan's Fleet and I Feel Lucky Tonight. But you know what? I'm feeling like I'm in the long shot mood today. This is another one. If the 7 doesn't get the lead, this one will be on the lead. And if speed can hold up, maybe that one can pop at a price. If not, I'll regret not putting a 3 in my picks as I've done for most of the day. Number 1 in Turkey, master odds 10-5. So you're saying that you get the fixed odds there, right? So that's a little bit different, even money. So one of the ways you can use this, Salim, if you pay attention to what we've got here, these simulation odds, perhaps look at your fixed odds that you're getting in Turkey and see which one of these horses where the simulation odds are higher than you're getting on your fixed odds. So for example, on the 5-horse Alpha Company, what are your fixed odds there? Because we have that one at basically 7-2. And just from a probability or statistics standpoint, if our simulation odds are remotely close to accurate, and they have been, a lot of our simulation favorites actually do win. But if they're remotely close to accurate, if you're getting more value than you should, so if our horses win at approximately the rate that says here that they should win, but you're getting odds twice that, 3 times that, that's a mathematical way to almost ensure a positive ROI. Terry, what's the time frame here to race number 6?
We've got about
4 minutes.
Yeah, we got about 4 minutes according to this.
All right, so let's go. Go ahead.
And then Christopher wants to know who won the race yesterday, 9th race, and it's number 5 Green Pastures. Paid $6 to win.
Yeah, and then I don't remember who came in after that. All right, to the 5th race, the 6th race, Terry, the start of the late pick 4.
All right, so we're going to go to 1 mile and 70 yards. It's a claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, purse $32,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since July 8th. Claiming races of 16,000 or less are not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
All right, despite the fact, race 5, here we go. Private Ross is going to go with the 1 and the 5. Private Ross back to join us today. All these people changing their names. I can't keep up with all of these CIA agents that are watching our show, Terry, with their aliases. In the 6th race at $170 on the dirt, despite the fact that the race goes longer, it doesn't really change the fact that you want a fast horse there, Terry, because 40% of the time, almost 40% of the time, Larry Zonka, how about that name from the blast from the past?
Oh, yeah.
39% of the time, those horses go wire to wire. Post positions are mostly feral, though. 2 and 3 get a little bit of a bump. 4 through 7 get a little bit of a smack to the top of the head. Other than that, everything else is kind of fair. No deal makers or deal breakers in the 6th race for post positions, Terry. But speed can be a deal maker, and you got a little bit on the inside there.
That's right. That one shows the most speed, followed up by the 4 and the 5. But it's really an anyone's guess because they're all pretty close in their speed. The 5 has a small overlay from about 7-5 or 8-5, 2-1, and the 6 has an overlay from about 8-5, 15-1. All but the 3 have par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones.
Again, speed. Look at that overlay there with that one. That's a pretty big overlay. Again, that would be a case where if you're in Turkey, that make a small bet maybe on some of these overlays. Look at this, Terry. They all line up across the track. All right, let's see how closely they line up when we press this button over here.
All
so
right.
It goes 4, 5, so almost backwards. 4, 5, 1, and then the 6, then the 3. So it looks like the 6 horse is the one that's out of place in there, according to trip handicapping, but only 4 points off the rest. So, if it gets off to a good start, probably has a good shot. The 5 horse, woohoo, Jackie Blue. That's from your era, right? That music, Terry?
Yep.
78, not much quicker than anybody else. So this just looks like on paper already a contentious race. 5, 1, 6, and 3. Well, I would say there's a very strong chance that the winner is going to come out of that group. Although, woohoo, Jackie Blue has a 5-point total pace advantage over the rest of this field. If this goes according to plan, the 5 horse should win by a length, and then the rest of them battle it out for second, third, and I don't think there'll be a superfecta. Terry, we both begin with el número 5.
Yeah, I like the 5, woohoo, Jackie Blue.
You didn't say it right, though, Terry.
Woohoo, Jackie Blue.
There you go.
She ran third versus Tupper in her last race, drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Stassi, the one, is my second choice, drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Flash and Dynamite, the 4, is my third choice. She likes Parx racing. She's been in the money 72% of the time, and won 47% of those starts. And the distance won't cause any problems. She's been in the money 63% of the time, winning 36% of the starts. And then I like is my long shot Girl from Outer Space, the 3. She can improve while returning to dirt. Drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 18% of the races and claiming races. And then I'm going to play the last pick 4. I'm going to use the 1-5 with the 2-4 with the 1-2-3. Finish up with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, $48 ticket.
I don't have the 3, but aren't they all, Terry? All right, for me in race number 6, I'm going to go with woohoo, Jackie Blue. Top early speed, top late speed. You can't pass what you can't catch. That's a 5-point total pace advantage. Molly won a cracker. All or nothing horse. This one's won 4 races out of 11. Not on the board on anything else. Wins on the front and has a good chance to be there today, Terry. So that one can get to the front. Maybe another win or nothing effort. Flash and Dynamite, the 4 horse, the 3rd selection for me. Winner of 17 out of 36 Parx races. Ran at another track 30 times, only won twice. A horse for the Parx course. And then finally, number 1, Stassi. This one drops in class. 2nd start after a layoff. And at times, that one has elite early speed. 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 8, 10 is my pick 4 for $48. Race number 2 should be just about ready to go. So let's rewind back to that one. And right on cue, out the gates they go. The 2 horse has decided it wants to lead, as we thought it might show. The 3 horse, Optimistic Nate, getting into that shotgun position. The 5 horse over there, Jock Naba, that one is in the 3rd position. This race right now looks like it's between the 2 and the 3 up front. Let's see what those fractions look like. I'm hoping the 3 horse wins, because if it does, Terry, I'm going to be up for the day. Little under 23 seconds on the opening quarter, so not all that fast for the distance. The 5 horse, that bomb, this one looks like it's going to be in consideration. The 1 horse, which went off as the favorite, that one's trying to make up a lot of ground right now. It is moving the best. Let's see, though. They haven't asked the 3 horse to go yet, so let's see if that one can get to the front and stay out into the front. Down around the bend they come. I'm a little bit encouraged by the fact that the 1 horse's head's a little bit sideways, though. Jockey's trying to get him to switch leads. I think that one's going to go by my 3 horse here at the end and screw up my day, Terry. Makes me off, but that's all right. Such is life. You can't win them all, right? I had it as my next pick. So it's going to go 1, and then the 4, and then the 3, and then it looks like the 5 is going to make it to 6. 1, 3, 5, and 6. So we're both alive in our pick 4. Unfortunately, my double and my pick 3 and my 10 burnt right there, but we'll get a chance to get it back a little bit later on in the next race. The 3 didn't get to the lead, right? He wanted to lead, and then it got forced to run too wide, and that kind of probably burned him out a little bit. Race number 7 is next for us, right?
That's right. We're going to go at a mile, and it's an optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price. Purse $26,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $25,000 or less, which have never won 3 races, or claiming price $25,000, which have never won 3 races.
Yeah, and this is just 1 lap around the track. The start and finish line are the same, but it is a 2-turn mile, so fitness is going to be important. Along with fitness, the way to the winner's circle, as you can probably imagine, at a mile. Speed, that's what other ways are to win at Parx. 40% again, nearly 39% win as they get to the front. They stay at the front and they cross the finish line first. The rail is fair, so Zappi Fish buy-in. 2 and 3, they get a little bit of advantage over the rest of the field, at least on the inside. 4 through 7, that's discounted, the worst post positions to have, but really the best place to be at a mile is on the outside. 8 and out perform the best. So Buffalo Girls on the outside, but we don't get that here in a 6-horse race, Terry. We still have a bunch of horses with speed. This one looks extremely competitive at the start.
It does. They all show some speed. Only one that's not close to them is that one's got pretty low. But anyway, the 1 has an overlay 5 to 1, 10 to 1. 5 has an overlay from about 7 to 2 to 10 to 1. All of them show par plus numbers, and all but the 6 have C zones, and the 5 has a nice Q30.
Yeah, Eddie W. maybe gets to the front and maybe stays there. Although that speed bias didn't favor me right there at all. 2 out front, 6 and the 5. The PC, the 5 horse, look out. Eddie W could get an excellent trip again. If the 2 and 6 go too slow, the 5 can keep him to task. If they go too fast, should get in front of these 3 closers and see if it has the late legs to hold on. So we look at the early speed, Melt With You, the 4 horse. Wow, it's a closer. So you have a left arrow horse. Of the 2 speed horses, it looks like the 2 horse, arrow, speed, but really not much difference between it and the others. So it looks like the 4 is the one that has the most early speed. And along with that, the 4 horse has the tie for the most late speed. Boy, again, another one of those horses that you can't pass if you can't catch, Terry. And that one is also a 5-point total pace advantage over all the others in here. Looks like only Back East without a chance to fill in that place or show part of the race. Terry, Melt With You, is that at the top of your ticket?
I like the 2 Arrow Speed. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then the 4 Melt With You is my second choice. Has won 2 races out of his last 3 starts, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. 5 Eddie W is my next pick. Best start speed is fast among today's starters, has a high percentage winning jockey. And then the 6 Hermoso Hombre is my long shot, has finished in the money in 2 races out of his 3 starts at Park Racing, winning one of those races, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No bet for me here.
We get a lot of folks following us from Turkey. Thank you. I would like to come visit Turkey. I saw, like I said, Novella. Looks like there's a lot of beautiful people in Turkey. Looks like you have a lot of great coastline, some nice beaches and so forth. But Tefam has threatened our very existence, Terry. I'd be afraid to go over there. He's told us never to come over to Turkey.
Yeah, he did.
Yes. I'm going to go with the 4 horse Melt With You as my top selection. Another one of those horses that we've seen today that has a top early speed, top late speed. That means a top total pace, 5 points clear of the pack. Arrow Speed. Well, speaking of speed, there you go. The 2 horse. You got, again, Jamie Ness, Mikel Sanchez, dynamic Batman and Robin duo of Parx. It is a track dropper coming in from a higher circuit. It does have a pair of bullet workouts between races. That one could be very difficult to contend with. Hermoso Hombre for all of our Spanish-speaking friends. This one had better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers last out. Very consistent performer since it's made its home at Parx in the last 3 races. Finally, Eddie W was a tough call for me over that 1 horse in there. But I like Eddie W because this one gets more of an overlay, and it has the top C-zone, and it has a 30% Q30 score. So a lot of reasons to like Eddie W. Maybe should have rated that one a bit higher in my picks. 2 to go for today, Terry. Again, tomorrow we'll be back about 10 minutes before post at Keeneland, where they have a $250,000 pick 5. Terry and I have already committed to using our entire $100 budget tomorrow to try to hit that $250,000 pick 5. But Terry will still have his best bet for all of you who live and die on Terry's word on the track. Race 8, Terry. Well, before we do race 8, make sure you don't miss your shot at that $250,000 and what we think about it, Terry. What should everybody watching do?
Well, they need to subscribe to YouTube and hit the bell so that they are told when our program starts. Go down and copy the link to share with all their friends, neighbors, and relatives so that they can come check us out too. I know they're going to like what they see. And then go to our social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us thumbs up and likes. And it's streaming down at the bottom there, all of our social sites. And then give us some comments and picks, just like everybody's been doing today. We really enjoy that. It really helps us out.
I feel like a flight attendant, Terry, when you're saying Horse Race today, the number 2, and then you go like that, and then you say the things down there, and then I have to go like that. It's like when the guy's making, yes, the emergency exits are over there. Yes, the emergency exits when Terry and I are hot is just hit the end button. All right, 6.5 furlongs. We saw the opener at 6.5 furlongs. Well, horse did go wire to wire. It's not uncommon. About 34% of the time, that's exactly what they do. We revert back to a distance where the inside 3 horses, post position wise, have an advantage over the rest, Terry. And we do find one in the inside there that has a lot of speed in that inside 3 spot.
Yeah, that 2 does. That 2 could get to that quarter pole first as long as it gets a good break, followed up by the 3. And then the 1 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 5 to 2. All of them show par plus numbers, and all show C zones.
Yeah, but you look at this combination here on Confirmed Star. Big overlay Top Par Plus, 89% chance that Confirmed Star is going to hit that 82 speed figure number. That's a pretty big statement right there. Top C Zone just won't be on the lead horse, perhaps right there, Terry. And this one looking right now, if I can just guess, might be one of Terry's or the Terry best bet of the day. Looking at our race shape for the first leg of the day, late double, 2, 3, 4, and 6. A lot of speed in here, Terry. Should favor these two if these four go too fast early on. The beginning and the onset of the race, it does look like at least 3 of them, the 2, 3, and 4, are going to get after it. The 6 horse might be a little bit slower than those 3. Plus, it's to its outside. Look for Bahamian Babe to get stuck wide and perhaps get a very difficult trip. At the end of the race, the 1 and the 5 look like they're going to put on the Jets. 1 horse, Confirmed Stars, a little bit more. She talks too much, and she's from outer space. Too bad. It'd be great if those 2 horses were in a race, Terry, and finished first and second, right?
Yeah.
Women from her outer space, and she talks too much, making the exacta. Symmetry. And then finally, just kidding, of course, ladies. The top total pace horse in here is Confirmed Star. That one's about 7 points clear of the rest. So Confirmed Star, Terry, your best bet, should win by about 1.5 lengths. And you don't even think it'll be that close, do you?
No, I think it's going to win pretty easily. That's my pick of the day, Confirmed Star, the 1. Finished in the money in 8 out of the last 10 races, winning 3 of those. And she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. A GNC, the 3, is my second choice. Won her last race easily at Parx Racing. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 2, Midnight in Alaska, is my third choice. She won 2 races out of the last 3 starts. She has a high percentage winning trainer. She talks too much. The 5, Long Shot, she won her last race. And she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet $16 to win, $25 to place on the 1, $5 daily double 1 and 3 with 4 and 10, $2 exacta box, the 1, 2, 3, 5, and a $5 exacta 1 on top with the 2, 3, 5. That's my total budget.
All right. So we put a hundo on that 1. That 1 better come to play today. But Terry's going to take a trip out there and pretend he's Tafam with the Confirmed Star connections. Down 100%, we'll leave our picks up at the end of the show. I go with the 1 horse 2, Confirmed Star. You don't have to worry about us coming out to Parx. This one is going to drop from a non-graded stakes race. 3rd start after layoff, the most classic and first learned handicapping angle for more. This horse has never run out of the money at Parx and never run out of the money at the distance. So I just put the complete mojo on that one. AG&C, the 3 horse, big effort in her last race, has a bullet workout sense, and that's another one of those Barry Meadows. If a horse wins by like more than 1.5 lengths, the next time out, about a 15% plus chance it'll win again. Number 4, Dewey Do It. You remember that, the Dewey Decimal System, Terry, to go about finding books?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, nobody knows what we're talking now because they just searched it in Google or on Amazon. But this one's run at Parx 6 times, won half of those races. And their horses run a handful of races elsewhere and hasn't won a single one of them. Chance to be better in the second start after a layoff for unquestionably a horse for the course. And then finally, Midnight in Alaska, which can be daylight or it can be midnight at the middle of the day, depending on the time of the year. This one, another one that's dropping from a non-graded stakes race. And if speed is the way today, this one could be on its way to the winner's circle. No bets for me because I squandered all mine in the early races, Terry. Last race of the day for you and me is race number 9. Again, a very common distance for this terrific Terry Tuesday.
Yeah, 6.5 furlong. Oops, I'm the wrong race. Let me get to the right race. 6 furlongs, claiming $10,000 purse. Claiming price, purse $26,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since July 8th. Claiming races for $8,000 or less, not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
Now, look, Tafam is blessing us today. Thank you, Tafam. We appreciate that. We could always use God's grace. We all can do that. Race number 9, the 4 horse in here for Private Ross. At 6 furlongs again, you guys can probably recite it by now. Early speed on the inside gives you the best chance to make it to the winner's circle, although it looks like most of the juice is on the outside.
Yeah, that 10 shows a lot of speed, as you can see, but several of them have speed in here. And then the 2 has an overlay from almost 4 to 1 to 5 to 1. 5 has an overlay from 5 to 1 to 20 to 1. 9 has an overlay from about 3 to 1 to 7 to 2. All but the 3, 4, 7 have par plus numbers, and all of them show seasons.
So how are you going to keep track of all this? There's a couple of ways you can do that, Salim. Number one, at the end of the show, we will put in the description on YouTube, we'll timestamp every race. So you can come back and watch every race over again. If you have to make your bets before the race starts, over at horseracingtoday.net, there is a link in the description down there below in YouTube. It should be available too, also on Twitter and wherever else we stream. We used to do Facebook, but we're not there anymore. And if you click on that, you'll see again on the front page, this is from yesterday, you'll see the headline right here. If you just click on it, you'll see it'll take you. And this is the comments, all of our comments from yesterday. So you can see them right here. Here's a recap of the show right here. So if we click on the recap of the show, let me just pop this out on YouTube. Hold on. Watch on YouTube. So you'll see from yesterday, let me mute that. If you come down here on the description for more, you'll see all the race times. So if you want to go back and watch race number 9 yesterday, the one that Christopher D'Souza asked us about, just click on the 5212 and watch that. Like magic, it's going to go to that race number 9. I know it says 8, but it'll switch to 9 in a minute. That's how that works. So those are a couple different ways that you can go about keeping track of what we got cooking today. All right. I hope that's helpful. And then while you're at, speaking of helpful, horseracingtoday.net, you see over here, it says HRT gear. A lot of the country's getting cold now. Click on that. Come on over to our shop and get yourself a hoodie. You can, as I mentioned, you can tailor it to your color schemes of liking. Terry will just go with the all black for his 49ers because their season is over, especially if they lose on Thursday. Back to horse racing. I know Terry loves when I just dig him on those 49ers. But anyhow, we talked about the kind of horse that typically wins. We need to mention what race number 9 looks like from a trip handicapping. Look at that. Most of the horses middle back, pretty evenly balanced, though. The 8 horse is your lone EP type. Again, no matter what they look like on paper, these Sesame Street horses merit your attention. Early on, it looks like there'll be a lot of contention for the early pace, although Memory Bouquet all the way on the outside, it's going to have to clear a lot of other horses that don't necessarily need the lead. At the end of the race, turns and conditions. A little bit quicker than My Devil's Child. Harry's on the Beach. Again, very competitive in terms of who's got what at the end. This race is shaping up to be a very difficult one to find a loner. Eddie Mush scoring the best. Top 4 again, generally producing the winner. 6, 10, 9, and 2. Terry, looks like you got the 10 and the 9. I just got the 10. I have none of the top 4, so I might as well just call it a day.
Yeah, it's a really wide open race. I like the 4 Dark Timber as my first choice. Finished 3rd versus Tupper in his last race at Parx Racing. Drops in class today. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 10 Memory Bouquet is my second choice. Ran 4th in his last race as a favorite, but the trainer wins 36% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 9 is my third choice. Turns and Conditions. He has the highest last speed rating. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 1 is my long shot. Harry's on the Beach. He drops in class today, switches to a high percentage winning jockey, which is Paco Lopez. And I cannot make any other bets because I don't have any other money.
Shouldn't it be Biden's on the beach, right? Isn't that where he is all the time? Every time I see a photo of him, the guy's on the beach. Yeah. What a life, folks, if you can get it. All right. I'm going to go with the 4 horse 2 as my top selection. Dark Timber, making, again, the 3rd start after a layoff. Did hold its speed longer last time out, usually a sign of a horse getting into form. So what I mean by that is you see here in that 4 horse, let's come down here. You see right here that held that speed all the way into the stretch, whereas in the prior race, he lost it at the quarter-mile marker. So you should see that speed go a little bit deeper into the race in the 3rd start after layoff. At least that's the thinking. Number 3, Whiskey Prize, my second choice, the 3rd horse in there, making another one. 3rd start after layoff, had a big win. Again, looking at that 50% angle, horses that win by a lot tend to put back-to-back solid efforts together and had better early pace last out. The 8 horse, Swing Oil, as I'm swinging for the fences in this last race, Terry. Trainer doesn't claim many, but when he does, he wins at 30%, 36%. That's an outstanding number. But you want an even more outstanding number, Terry?
Yeah.
You know what the ROI is on those 36% winners?
No.
$8.66. For every buck you invested, you would have gotten $8.66 back. That alone is enough to root for the 8 horse. And then finally, Memory Bouquet, I wanted to rank that one higher, Terry. I really did, with that speed on the outside. Got a shot. But you know where it's coming in from?
From Penn National.
And how do I feel about those Penn National
You don't care for Penn National. So.
It's not that I don't care about it.
No,
I
you
care
don't
about it
care
when I'm
about,
there.
you don't think they do well when they come into Parx.
No. And Christopher D'Souza thinks the 6 horse will do well here. Eddie Mush with the 2 and the 9. That's his exacta and trifecta bets for the closer today. All my horses are picked by crypto codes, including the 9th in the 8th yesterday, which finished, I think, the 9th finished second, I think, right behind the 5 horse, if I remember correctly.
Well, let me see.
But I may or may not remember correctly.
Well, yesterday, no, the 4 won the 8th race.
No, he's talking about race number 8. Who and the 9 finished second at a price?
Oh, the 9. Okay. The 9 ran second. Yeah, behind.
Yeah. He was a long shot that I remember him ended up being 5-2, I think.
Yeah.
All right, Don Johnson, here you go. Here are all of our picks for today, folks. If you timestamp that, that's 15. Just go 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So all 5s to timestamp when we put up the entirety of our picks. So far in race number 1, the 3 horse won. In race number 2, unfortunately, the 1 horse won, killing. I should have did a little bit more, a little bit deeper in my doubles, but hey, I figured I'd take a crack at it today. Here you see the rest of our picks. Late pick 4s, many pick 4s to go. Terry's best bet of the day being in race number 8, really keying on that 1 horse, Tafum. There you go. Terry, if you could type that in there for Tafum. Race 8, the 1. I'm sure he would appreciate that. Again, tomorrow we're going to come back, take a crack at $250,000. We will both be investing our $100 to try to hit that $250,000 pick 5 carryover at Keeneland tomorrow. On Thursday, we'll take our talents to New York for Belmont at the Big A. Not sure what Tom and I are doing for all the Foreign Friday fans, but we'll let you know in our social sites streaming down there below. And then that's it for today, Terry. Any final thoughts before you and I hop out of here and get prepared for Hump Day?
Yes, I'm hoping that everybody that needed to evacuate from Florida, the area that storm's going to hit, has left. And I hope that everybody stays safe and that we don't get a bunch of bad problems from it. And just give your loved ones a hug and a kiss, and hope you're lucky for the rest of the week. I'll see you tomorrow.
Indeed, we both think woohoo, Jackie Blue. Terry, one more time. How do you say that?
Woohoo, Jackie Blue.
It's right. Woohoo, Jackie Blue. We both think that one will find its way to the winner's circle. You're welcome, Don. We appreciate everybody coming along today. I know there's a lot of things you can do with your time. We are humbled and grateful that you spend it with us. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, if you're down there in Florida and you're preparing for Milton to come your way like my parents are, we certainly hope that you stay bunkered down. The good news is they do expect the storm to lose intensity as it heads towards the shore. So hopefully it decelerates as fast as it accelerated, and maybe drops from a 3 where it's expected to make landfall to a 2. Fingers crossed for everybody down there. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this terrific Terry Tuesday, we sure hope it has God's grace, God's favor, and that every single thing that you do between now and the time we get back tomorrow to make $250,000, folks, or at least try to, ends up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Hump Day with Hollywood Hay.